You what?
I never talk in the Discord and chat.
Oh my god.
I probably have
Oh,
like
and we're unmuted. We're unmuted.
we are unmuted.
All right, alrighty. Okay, should I start then?
Sure.
Guys, let's start. All right, everyone. Welcome to the 2-hour special of the Intermission Podcast. I am Squirtleboy here with my co-host Gas
Yes,
Slayer.
Slayer.
We got a nice 5 viewers in the crowd tonight, so gotta love that, you know.
Indeed.
Okay, so we should probably start because some people might be confused where this podcast began. And so basically it started with a joke. So if you're aware of this person who's streaming, his name's Pseudologic, or as I call him, David.
As I also call him David, just for the record.
So if we mention David, we mean Pseudo. Basically, he was doing a Minecraft stream, and then one day, or like something went wrong with his stream, like on one of his Minecraft streams. He went to his like little intermission thing, his little intermission screen, and then I was like, all right, everyone, welcome to the Intermission Podcast. It's time to make content while David's fixing his stream. And then that's how this all started. And then there was a goal where if we reached like what?
It was 5,000 channel points.
5,000 channel points. We do a 2-hour version of this. So here we are from 7 to 8.
We could still donate for it.
We can?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. I don't know how to.
Huh.
But yeah, basically we're just gonna talk about whatever for 2 hours straight. So
Indeed.
if you're gaming, if you're doing whatever, you can like throw us in the background. We will also be reading chat, so we know what everyone's saying.
Yeah. So if anyone also has like any topics you want us to discuss or anything, that's fair game too.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start. Where should we start?
I'm interested in Cocaine Bear. I'm curious on what that's talking about.
Yeah, Cocaine Bear. Okay. I just saw Cocaine Bear on Wednesday, and 10 out of 10 movie, instant classic, must see. Go, if you haven't already, go see Cocaine Bear. It is amazing. It is David's seen Cocaine Bear.
Oh, he has?
Nice. Yeah, apparently. But yeah, so Cocaine Bear, it's self-explanatory. It's about a bear who's on it's about someone drops off like a ton of cocaine in like the middle of a forest, and then like this bear gets into it and is on cocaine for like the entire movie.
Huh.
And then she just goes around attacking people.
It's a good name for the movie, I have to say.
It is, and it's based off a true story. There
Wait,
was actually, yeah. So this like the first part actually happened. So like there was a ton of cocaine just dropped in the middle of the forest, and then a bear got into it. But the bear didn't go around like killing people. It just died instantly because it ate so much cocaine.
That makes sense. I would as well.
Yeah. So, bro, the movie. Dude, it's so good. There's so many not just grotesque scenes, but also just like so much charm in the movie, man. It's
so
like
much charm.
You could tell that like everyone had a complete blast with the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the script was kind of like was just kind of whatever. But honestly, you don't go for Cocaine Bear to see an in-depth story analysis on a family business, which did actually happen. There was like there was some plot stuff with like some family business with like the cocaine dealers and stuff.
Did it get destroyed by the Cocaine Bear?
You'll have to watch the movie to find out. That's all I can say.
So no spoilers.
No spoilers. This is a spoiler 3. Oh, sorry.
Spoiler 3. So we get 3 spoilers. Got it.
Yeah, no. Spoiler.
I redeem
3.
one.
Well, okay, so I'll tell you. There's this one character who died during the film, and there's this other character that there's this other character, and he was like bleeding out, and he's like, the city of Missouri, the city of Missouri trusted you. The United States government trusted you. And most of all, I trusted you. And then all the other characters were like, whatever, bye.
Yeah.
and then bro, that part was actually sad. That character was actually goated. And then there's also a scene where an ambulance gets called because like the bear attacked, and then and then they're trying to get like this lady out of like the forest, and the bear is like chasing after them. It's keeping up with like an ambulance.
Yo.
And note that this takes place in like the 80s. So
okay. That's fair.
It's like it's a lot more believable that a bear can keep up with an ambulance in the 80s.
What kind of bear is it?
It's just like a grizzly. It's like a brown bear. It's a brown or black bear. I don't know.
Okay, grizzly bear is 35 miles per hour.
Oh, I don't know. Ambulances are chunky.
That was for cruising down. That's like side street level speed for the ambulance.
Yeah, but anyway, must see movie. It is a blast. It's really it's kind of funny as well, and there's a lot of, man, there's a bear and it's on cocaine. So yeah, so that's Cocaine Bear. Highly recommend. Everyone. David thinks it was brown.
A brown bear. Brown bears also have a speed of 35 miles per hour.
Oh, David, we can see your stream chat. Oh wait.
Oh yeah. What?
He probably did that on Oh wait, and now Intermission Podcast is on our screen.
That's good.
Nice. Good to know. Good to know. By the way, actually no, never mind. All right. Okay. So anyway, so that's Cocaine Bear. Everyone go watch it. It is a blast and a half.
Now it says that it's comedy horror. How much of this is actual horror? Was it scary?
I would say that. I mean, I wasn't really scared during the movie, but there was a lot of like gruesome scenes. Like I can't say anything specific because it's like, let's just say sometimes you can see intestines being eaten. Let's just say that. Yeah, so it can sometimes be pretty gruesome. But...
So family friendly. Got it.
No. Yes.
I can show this to my fourth
5-year-old
graders.
child to see Cocaine Bear.
Is this a movie I should play in my classroom?
Depends. Like, who's the classroom of?
Fourth graders.
Fourth graders? No, definitely not.
I'm a good teacher. Don't worry.
I think it's like rated R.
Yeah, that sounds like is what it would be. Yeah, it's rated R.
Yeah, it's rated R. It's dude, it's so good. It's 69% on Rotten Tomatoes. That should 100% be that should 100% be higher. I have no idea why it's only 69%, but also haha, funny number.
Indeed.
And also, it was brought to my attention when I was like when I was telling people about this podcast. Apparently, it's the 69th day of the year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
nice.
So it's 69 days, baby.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah. All right. All right. So now let's. I don't know. What do you want to talk about next? Let's talk about. We have a list, by the way. We have a list on like what to talk about.
It is very funny, dual chat.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like actual podcasts probably also do this. All right, so
yeah,
should we do your first one then?
I'm interested in that one. That was the one that David recommended a while
that's
ago.
the one that so David suggested this. So do you wanna go first? Because I talked about Cocaine Bear for like a solid like 5 minutes, 6 minutes.
Sure. So the topic itself is whether or not we think that AI will eventually be able to overtake our respective careers, like our respective future careers. So in my case, that would be teaching, because I'm going into elementary education, and optimally I want to teach fifth graders. And then what would that look like for you? What career would that be for you?
See, so that would be I am a political science major, so
So that's kind of broad then for you.
Yeah, so it's kind of broad, but I actually did declare my major like on Friday.
Nice.
1 week ago today. I'm now political science public policy track, so specifically public well, just kind of like narrows it to public policy, which I mean, I guess AI could possibly. I mean, they like if someone would create an AI that like analyzes like every political issue and every possible or like every solution that has ever been like dealt with, like that's like a political issue. I mean, I guess it could maybe, but
that feels like that's more statistics based.
That's more statistics. And then when you do it like that, you're basically just like telling a computer like, hey, what's the best course of action out of all these variables?
Yeah.
And then that's not really AI. That's more like just computers.
Yeah, and then you get into issues of like subjectivity there, of like what are we defining as being best?
And then also like morality issues as well, like because for example, you could say, like let's say there's an let's say there's an example of like the U.S. is like there's an uprising in the United States, or something like that, and then like
that'll happen soon,
and then maybe we don't know about that yet. That's an entire other conversation and a tangent.
Our next podcast. How do we start?
Yeah, how do you start a rebellion? U.S. government,
right,
please don't take that out of context.
No, please take it out of context.
Oh my god, my career.
I'm not going to be a police officer anymore.
Poor career.
They're not going to go after a lowly teacher.
Yeah, probably not.
They're desperate for
those. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so like let's say that like, oh yeah, what would be the best course of action to take in order to stop the rebellion? And then the computer might say something like, kill them all.
Right.
And obviously we don't want to do that because killing people is bad.
Yeah, we want to minimize that in general. Yeah, so the morality issues are definitely going to get finicky with that, because the robot isn't going to do anything with morality. It's only going to encompass what the criteria we put into it. So even if we say, what?
David just says congratulations for David says he can't wait to vote for me or vote for someone who employs me.
That encompasses both of them.
Yeah, I guess. But anyway, you were saying.
Yeah, I was just saying, it's just putting it. A robot's only going to be judging by, well, machine learning, but even with machine learning, you have to base that off of something that is subjective, because you can't, everyone's moral principles are going to be slightly different in most cases. So if you're going to put it, you have to put someone's morality into this machine, which may not correspond with what everyone agrees should be best. Like, even if you say, like, minimize the amount of people being killed, well, then there could be a potential of somehow it's killing innocent people who are not related to the issue at hand. But if that somehow results in less people overall being killed, which shouldn't happen, you shouldn't be killing the innocent people if you need to be killing people at all.
Yeah.
I do not know what the
heard of the ice cream problem. I don't know what the ice cream problem is. Here, let me see.
I was going to say, quick Google search. Ice cream problem.
Troubleshooting homemade ice cream. How
I
does
think
ice
that's
cream affect your body? Here, let's see. How does ice cream affect your body? Experts suggest eating any foods that contain added sugar and saturated fat, like ice cream, in a moderate and mindful way.
Mhm.
In excess, these foods might displace nutritious choices in your diet and increase the risk of chronic conditions like heart disease, high cholesterol, obesity, and diabetes over time. Oh my God.
You know, I have to agree that does sound to be like a problem. I do agree with that.
You tell an AI to make ice cream, no further explanation. What happens next? True, like we have to like program the AI in order to
Right.
understand like
It makes
what
ice
it
cream.
does. It makes ice cream. Nice.
Yeah. And I mean, eventually it will get like an optimal recipe for ice cream, I guess. Like if it takes into account everything we've done. Like if you ask like ChatGPT, tell me how to make ice cream, it probably would give you a decent recipe for it.
I actually have never experimented with Chat GPT. Like I haven't really heard anything about it other than like I've seen some streamers use it and I'm like,
Mhm.
whoa, what the heck is that?
Yeah, Fox was showing it to me a little while ago. I don't have an account with it, but I was messing around with it. And the first thing that I do instantly once I see it, and it's like it takes your responses and it can actually like happen to do a conversation. So the first thing I asked it to do is like define one of the like philosophical arguments for the existence of God, and then I wouldn't,
Oh.
and then I instantly like caused it to. It was giving me an answer I didn't like
Ha.
because it was saying that the argument was much simpler than like the most like optimal version of the argument was. So I had to tell it a little bit more, and then we got into an argument on what defines like subjectivity and what defines like whether or not something is like a proper argument, because it kept saying my logic is sound but other people will say something otherwise, and that was like it was response, it's telling me that other people say otherwise. And then I was arguing with that that's not a rational response to an argument. You can't just say your argument's incorrect because other people say something differently. You have to, I'm putting forth an argument, so you have to then tell me why is my argument incorrect. And it was refusing to do that for the philosophical thing I was giving it. I was giving it the argument for motion, if you ever heard of it. So
No, I have not.
so I spent like the first like 10 minutes of of the math class that I was in arguing with it with that.
You spend the first 10 minutes arguing with an AI. Nice.
Yes. Now, to be fair, it wasn't my math class. I was sitting in on my friend's calculus class, so it wasn't like I was missing
Fair.
anything. But still, I was also able to gaslight ChatGPT like very easily with math. It's like there's some things that it's so confidently incorrect on. However, there's also times when it's like you could just gaslight the heck out of it. I asked it, "What is 2 + 3?" and then it obviously gave the answer 5. So then I said, "No, it's not. 2 + 3 = 6." And then it said, "Oh, you're right. That is my mistake. 2 + 3 does equal 6."
Oh.
And then I spent another like 3 to 4 minutes arguing about the semantics of whether or not I actually gaslit the program, because they're saying that I did not technically gaslight it because it's a machine, so it cannot be gaslit. But that's
it's an intelligence. It's a,
yeah,
like, which means that if it's intelligent, it means that it can.
yeah. It's like, sure, I technically did not gaslight you by your definition of you're not a human being, but in every other respect of the word, I did. So that's pretty much my extent of usage for ChatGPT. Actually, we were also like putting it in like there's this band that I listen to called Nightwish, and their lyrics are like so obscure and so out of there. Like they mean something, but I just have no clue what they mean. So we were just inputting like all of the lyrics into ChatGPT and then telling it to analyze it and tell me what it's talking about. And it was actually doing a pretty good job at it. It actually helped me understand a couple of songs I didn't understand before. So that was pretty cool of it.
Oh, that's interesting. I haven't used Chat GPT, so I can't say anything about that.
It is pretty cool.
I will say it's been interesting seeing the entire fallout of the art community just like completely destroying them, like completely obliterating themselves with all like the AI art going around.
Yeah.
Because that's how the controversy started, was through like AI art, and like people like losing their shit because it's like, oh, it's not actually like art because it takes like other people's art and like remakes it and
Mhm.
I don't know, other stuff.
Yeah, I would say for for me, I would define art to have some sort of meaning behind it. Whether or not that meaning is just it was fun for me to make. That I still consider art because it still had some meaning behind it. So I guess I don't know if I would consider that kind of stuff to be like the definition of art if it doesn't have that meaning behind it because it's a robot that's just using like strings of ones and zeros ultimately to create it without a meaning behind it. However, then you can the person can make meaning to what it gave out, in which case then it does become art to that individual. So I would say either way it classifies as art, but I would say a little bit sketchily. What's your
Ah, I
definition of
see.
art?
My definition, let's see. I don't know. Um, I don't know.
Sketchily.
This is a hard question, man. I mean, isn't okay. I would say art is because like art can take many forms. Like for example, it can take form in a show, or it can
Right.
take form in like a artistic piece.
Right. I would even go
Um,
as far as to say that like debate is kind of an art form in and of itself because it you have to create arguments and be able to respond quickly to it. So I'd even consider like conversation in and of itself can be art at times.
hmm, yeah. I don't know. I would like classify art as long as it originates from like a human being trying to create something.
Mhm.
Because you could say that because one could say that um like their AI art is still like their art because they are the ones
Mhm.
who made the computer program in order to create the art.
Right.
And also some of the like AI art out there is like actually insane.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's also gotten to the point where like you can't really tell the difference, and so there are some people like falsely accusing people of doing AI art when it's actually their own art,
Yeah.
and vice versa.
That is going to I, yeah, that's probably going to be messing with actually that's probably going to be messing with a lot of different types of jobs because like it'll probably get to the point where like TV animators and stuff like that are just going to be using these.
Oh yeah, there was like Netflix was doing like an anime or something like that,
Okay.
and then apparently they used the background for like they apparently used the yeah like the best like some of the background season stuff like some of the background scenes and stuff with
Mhm.
like just they just used AI art. They used artificial intelligence in order to generate all of it, which
Mhm.
it looked pretty good, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's a complicated thing,
Yeah.
you know.
When it comes to artists being compensated, like because all the work David's saying that all the work is technically derivative of the art, I would say like there's it depends on like how heavily it's used. Like if they're literally taking like parts of the image that the other person made and putting into their artwork, then I would say yes, definitely the artist should be compensated. But like if they're taking it as a like if they're just taking it as like an inspiration to the piece, then that gets kind of like slightly foggy because then it depends on how much because in a technical sense like you every piece of art is inspired by something else. Like I can look at a bunch of different artwork, create artwork of my own and unknowingly have used the inspiration from other art that I've seen already.
Hmm.
So it gets when I would just say it depends on it's how heavily the art is derived from something else.
Okay.
Yeah, how would you know what images are being used?
I mean, honestly, you just wouldn't know because it takes like samples from I think the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like all over the internet. So only God knows really what you could really do with that.
Right. I mean, I guess you could maybe like have it output every single picture that I took inspiration from, possibly. But if that's millions, then that's going to be getting excessive.
Yeah.
What is a wand show?
A what?
I don't know. That's what David put in the chat. They talked about this on WAN show last week.
Wand show? Wide area network.
Oh, Okay, Linus and Luke. Okay. And from Linus
All
Tech
right.
Tips.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't think I actually answered. I never actually answered the original topic question for my
Oh,
career.
geez, he added us in Discord.
Why? What do you...
He gave us a GitHub and an Ars Technica page. Clapton says artists use references all the time and AI mixing them together while an artist creates something inspired by their reference.
Mhm. Yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, that definitely errs on the side of you should be giving the artist credit for that. But there comes a point where it's like if they're using too many artists, it's near unrecognizable, and that gets complicated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. For me, I don't know. I feel like there's there's a limit to how much I can talk about AI
Mhm.
because like I don't know nearly enough about it in order to have like a conversation about it.
That's
And
fair.
I mean, one thing I do know though is the memes that have come out of it. Have you seen the
I have not,
Trump
actually.
Biden deepfakes?
I have not.
Oh my god, you need to watch these like right now. Dude, they are so good. It's literally just Donald Trump and Joe Biden playing video games.
Oh my gosh.
Like skit after skit after skit, and then it's like, all right, here I'm dropping in a lobby. Oh, like Trump, Joe Biden joins. He's like, Trump is like, oh God, look at it, it's Sleepy Joe. Sleepy Joe is back, and he's like, shut up, Donald. I'm gonna clap you. I'm gonna clap your ass, you little fucker.
My
Dude,
God.
and they're like so spot on too. It's so good.
I'm looking at one now.
Oh yeah, which one are you watching?
Oh, okay. It's actually a rap that.
Oh, it's a rap. Here,
Yeah,
I'll send
it's a
you the
rap.
one that like I'll send you like a good one. Hold on. Oh,
I'm looking at one where it's a Minecraft Let's Play.
bro, there's just
Add 1 of 4. What? David.
yeah, David. All right, well now we have to wait. All right, you know what? No, this is YouTube exclusive content.
Yes. It's YouTube exclusive.
YouTube exclusive content, baby. Or subs.
Or subs. Oh yeah, because they bypass that.
Yeah, or subs. If you want to drop a sub to the channel, you know, twitch.tv/pseudological, get David some money.
I like how David is a 2-month subscriber to his own channel.
Is he actually?
It says 2-month subscriber on his name.
Why? Why would he? I don't know. Anyway,
Giving himself money.
Giving himself money. That doesn't make any sense. He's not. And half of that money literally goes to Twitch anyway. It doesn't all go to him.
It's a good payoff.
There's no reason for him to. Oh my god, that's so stupid.
Or maybe
All right,
or maybe
and we're
it's
back.
there we go.
We're back.
Oh, maybe wait, David, can you use the Amazon Prime sub and subscribe to yourself?
Oh my God. Yeah, come on, everyone, use your Twitch Primes on the Pseudological channel. Come on, guys. You can do it.
I already used mine.
I don't have access to my Twitch Prime because it's my dad's like Amazon Prime account.
Nah, that makes sense.
Anyway, so on to the next topic.
I technically never answered that question for my career of teaching.
Oh yeah, I guess you never did.
Because
Yes, you did. You said your career was teaching.
I said my career was teaching, but I never specified as to whether or not I think AI will take it over.
Oh yeah.
Because I said it was teaching, and then I asked you for what that would entail for you, and then I was going to go back to it.
All right,
but
so
then,
do you think like AI could like replace teachers?
I feel like the common perception would actually be kind of yes, that it could ultimately, because like AI could most likely get to the point where it's teaching in a technical sense, like teaching math better, it's teaching science better, and teaching English better, because like it's ultimately going to know more than we do, so it'll know how to like explain some things differently, and if a student's not understanding, can try different methods. But I think the main thing that I would object to is like the perception of teaching is that you're teaching the subjects to the kids, but that's actually not like the first thing I think of when I think of teaching. I think of counseling and like rapport building as being the main thing you do as a teacher. Because I put in like my classroom management plan that I had to write. I put in there like I believe a student isn't able to learn unless they first know that they are cared for. And I think that if you're to replace, because like some students are coming from like very not great backgrounds. Like there's going to be kids coming in where their parents are fighting every night, or they don't feel loved, they don't feel cared for. So there's going to be students that are coming into the classroom where they are there specifically because this is a safe place for them to be. So if they don't know that they're being cared for, if they don't know that there's someone out there that actually does care for them and love them, then what motivation do they have to learn? And I think if you're trying to replace teachers with complete AI, you lose that social aspect of school. You lose that caring that you get. Like there's that, oh man, why am I
human
Marlowe.
emotion,
Yeah,
like human interaction.
Yeah, like it's like with Marlowe. Do you know the psychological study of Marlowe with the monkeys? So there's a study done where they took baby monkeys and then they placed them into two different cages. One cage they had a wire like mom, quote unquote, that like gave them milk, that gave them food, and then the other cage they had a cloth monkey mother that was like made of cloth and like was comfortable like for the monkeys to rest in, and then they pretty much just like analyzed which of the mothers will the monkeys go to more. And the result was that the monkeys went to the cloth mother more. And even though that the metal one gave them food and gave them what they needed to survive, the monkeys unanimously went to the cloth mother a lot more because they desired comfort over everything else. They desired that safety and that care more than they desired their own basic needs being fulfilled. So I think in a slight sense, teaching it without the rapport, without the social aspect, it will be like the wire monkey there, where it's like, sure, you're providing the necessities of teaching, but the students aren't going to have that basic need of comfort being fulfilled there. So I ultimately think that AI, even though it'll have a good place in the classroom, ultimately, it will never be able to replace that emotional aspect that a teacher will bring to it. That's kind of my view on it.
Yeah, okay, so I had a boss. So for a little bit of background here, I for the last 2 years and over the summer, I worked at this pool job. And at the pool job, like my boss, she was during the school year, she was an elementary school teacher.
Mhm. What grade do you know?
Kindergarten.
Okay.
Like actually, her being a kindergarten teacher is actually an important part of the story.
Okay.
But basically she's like, yeah, one of the first things we try to work on as like kindergartners is like emotion management.
Right.
And emotion management is like really important because it's like if you're like how if it's important to know like how to deal with when you're feeling frustrated or when you're feeling sad or happy or to like to help control those emotions in a more like controlled way.
Yeah.
Instead of just like blaring and screaming and like doing all that stuff. And I feel like when you put that in AI, like when you make an AI in charge of like a kindergartner, I don't think it can teach how to like how to control your own emotions.
Right.
I feel like that's something that you definitely need like a teacher for.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like probably one of the more important parts.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. You can't expect an AI to be able to analyze the situation of that kid because a human being is so much more than just like the surface level of their emotions. Like there's always going to be reasons behind why they're acting this way. Why are they frustrated? There's always going to be so much deeper to whatever someone is feeling. And like a robot is going to be analyzing it at surface level, even if it is going like slightly deeper. I feel like it'll never get to that point where you're able to kind of analyze the situation as good as an actual human being can. Because you need that sense of empathy, which I feel a robot will never be able to perfectly replicate.
Yeah.
There's something else I was going to say too, and I completely forgot about it.
Okay.
Man,
And Shadow's here now. Nice.
hey, welcome, Shadow. Man, I'm annoyed.
I actually I had to reduce the I didn't want anyone coming into our recording unless like we wanted to invite someone in. So I just like I put the max like for the streaming VC and as to have like a max of 3 people. Because I was like I don't want anyone rating this. Just like come in and just say a ton of like I don't know, just like unhinged stuff.
Yeah, that'd be kind of funny, but
It
also
would be funny, but also it would ruin it. I mean, it wouldn't ruin the special, but it'd just be
yeah, it
it'd
does
be
take away the point of it
interesting.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
remember. I remember what I was gonna say now. It's in regards to the I just had it. Oh, it's in regards to kind of like whether or not a robot is able to effectively communicate with a child in the same way that a human can. So this was a study that I actually learned about in my language development class, and they were taking babies and they were having them be introduced to a person who speaks another language. Like they were taking American babies and they were putting it with someone that spoke fluent Korean, and then the Korean person was like interacting with the baby, like playing with them, but also always using their language. And the infant was able to like perfectly keep up and perfectly recognize the language and like begin to learn Korean like very, very, very easily. But when you instead of having a person that was interacting with the child, and instead you had the child just like watching a Korean person on the screen, and even if the person on the screen was talking to them and like interacting with them in a sense, the baby did not like legitimately learned absolutely nothing from the Korean person. They didn't pick up on the language at all. There was something about the actual social aspect of that human being in the presence of the infant that activated something in their mind to be able to learn the language. And when that social aspect was taken away completely, the baby learned absolutely nothing. So I think to an extent, even if AI was to get to a point where they could teach effectively, you're still going to run into a similar issue, I would assume, where even if you're having an interaction over screen, you're not going to be learning as effectively as you would in person, even no matter how good the AI gets. I think there's
yeah,
going to be something that limits it.
yeah. There was a David posted a like a comment earlier that was like, here, hold on. Where is it? I don't know. I can't remember where it is. But it was basically like school is more socialization than
Oh, yeah.
education or
Oh, yeah,
something
it's right
like
there. Yeah.
that. So that's also kind of like another like proof you can give to like
Right.
prove that that's true.
And yeah, I would actually argue that you can't learn Spanish by watching Door. You can learn the basics. Like she repeatedly like teaches
You
like
can say like,
hola or
Hola, me llamo
Dora.
Dora. ¿Cómo estás?"
Yeah, like
Like,
it teaches a basic greeting, sure, but it's never going to be able to teach you like why you're saying as it is. Like they're not going to be teaching you like the verb conjugations of how you conjugate estar into different circumstances. The baby's not going to be able to pick up on that because it's not something they're going to rehearse and repeat to other people. So yeah.
I see. Um, but yeah. So that's our thoughts on AI.
Yes. That's not something we could go too much into depth to. If David was here, he
Yeah.
could probably rant on it for the entire 2 hours.
If David was in the call, we could do that topic for a lot longer. But as for me, that's definitely the extent of my knowledge.
Same. I don't know too much about computers. David's been trying to get me to know about computers, and he's succeeded a little bit, but not completely.
Yeah, I don't know too much about computers either, so. Okay, I think that's a cue to go on to our next topic.
Yes, the actual comp sci student
Alright.
isn't here. Gaston's girl talk about AI for 42 minutes.
Sounds about right. Just like if date.
What?
No, nothing.
Ah, so this is what you do on a first date.
This is what I do on a first date.
I've never been on a date, so I can't say otherwise.
Oof.
Have you?
I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I guess maybe. I mean, I'm actually no. That does count as my first date. I went over to. I had a girlfriend. This is my like my one and only girlfriend that I ever had.
Okay.
And she, like, I came and visited at a certain state and place that I cannot say right now because
That's fair. You don't want to dox them.
And I went over to that state, and then I went over to her house and like visited her and stuff, and then like we made out on her couch for a while, and then like we watched anime and also just talked for a bit. So
Oh, yeah, that would definitely count as a date.
I guess that counts as a date. Yeah.
I would say so.
Actually, something interestingly enough, she actually started talking to me again. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, like when we broke up, it wasn't a bad breakup. It was fine. So it's like it wasn't too bad, but I don't know. It was just kind of awkward, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, but yeah, and then she like talked to me like the Wednesday before my spring break.
Okay.
So that was interesting. We both had an 8 a.m. midterm, so like we couldn't talk very often, and we also like talked on Valentine's Day, but
Okay.
yeah.
So it sounds like there might be still something there.
Yeah, I would say so because it's like for me it was like definitely like my first girlfriend, like, and for her it was like she had like a guy she like went out with like a few times but then kind of ghosted him. But apparently this is like I'm like the first person she referred to as like her boyfriend. So
Okay.
so I'm like basically her first boyfriend.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, so but Anyway, going on to not my love life. Sorry.
Hey, that
I
wasn't
kinda
on the
went
topic
on.
list.
That I mean, hey, topic list, why not? All right, I don't know. Why we selected our respective career/college plans. Well, me personally, I want to make a change I want to change the world from the inside, which is why I am planning to
Overthrow the
eventually
government.
for government, to eventually run for office. And haha, jokes on all of you. You don't know my real identity. So you can't so you won't know when I run or what I run for.
You don't want the supporters?
Well, I mean, I don't want them like finding me through this podcast. So,
We're not going to say anything too sketchy, I don't think, on here.
I don't know. I mean, no. I mean, we haven't really said anything sketchy, but like,
No, not at all.
just in case this gets pulled up, if someone finds this, I don't want to like,
That's fair.
I mean, we don't say anything like super controversial, so.
I think you could.
much.
I think you actually could piece together my identity from everything online.
Hello, people in the future who are checking Squirtle's electability. Yeah. I also find it funny that nobody in the entire Discord server knows my real name, and that's hilarious.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I like legitimately thought you were someone that David actually knew in person for like a while.
No, David doesn't know me in person. We went to high school together, but like we never interacted at all.
Okay, so we did go to high school together. Okay.
And I know what David looks like because I have his yearbook, or I have a yearbook. So
do you know what I look like is the question.
I actually don't know your name.
Ha.
No, Shadow, he doesn't know me. Like, David does not know me in real life, and neither do you. I made especially sure that you don't know me in real life. Good God. You just come to my house and just, like, harass my family, even when I'm not there for most of the year. Wait, Shadow knows David? You would never. False. Completely false. Especially if you knew where I live.
There's only one way we can test this
place.
out.
You would come to my place all the time if like you knew where I lived. Because I guarantee you could like have easy access there.
Okay, you're narrowing it down for him. It's somewhere he has
know.
easy access to. Too far.
Too far? True, you're not. I will say, I'll give Shadow credit. He's not a complete psychopath or sociopath. He's not like a psychopath or a sociopath. So he probably won't do that. I'm just giving him shit, but.
Mm-hmm. There's a couple of my kids I think are gonna be, or like they're like psychopaths, at least in my classroom.
Dude, oh my god, there's this one girl at my college that like I had my first kiss with, and dude, she's an actual fucking psycho. I can't get into like the entire story because that story is like an hour long. Yeah, it's an hour and a half story, and it starts from like winter of last year to still going to this day.
That's recent. Okay.
Yeah, it is nutty. No, I mean like by winter of last year, I mean like January 2022.
Okay. Not so a year ago, but still, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh my god. Dude, I'm so sick of telling the story as well, so that's another reason why I don't want to tell it.
That is fair.
Because
that's fair,
yeah, but just know that there was this psycho girl, and then now like, and she bro, with every interaction I have with her, she's like I realize she's even more and more of a sociopath. And I'm like, Christ, girl, just leave me alone. I don't want anything to do with you.
That's fair. Yeah.
Anyway, so I want to make a difference in the world from the inside. Oh, David, we have confirmation. David has met Shadow IRL. Wow. Nice.
Huh.
I have a feeling if you saw me in real life, you could tell precisely that it was me. Especially if I make it obvious, because I have a Squirtle shirt.
Well,
I have
yeah.
like a I have like a short sleeve button down Squirtle shirt.
Yeah, if you're wearing your own merch, when I'm trying to identify you, it might make it
Yeah,
easy.
my own merch. But yeah, I don't know. So maybe if we eventually meet up in real life, just for just one day, just randomly,
Yeah.
I'll wear that shirt so you know exactly who I am. No, but anyway, why did you choose your career path?
So I was actually originally going to law enforcement, and then
Oh.
yeah, law enforcement and teaching are kind of two very different things.
Yeah, I
So,
noticed.
so we were actually, I was at my Police Explorer post on Tuesday, and we actually had a presentation from someone that worked in the worked in the jails, and like were the one like people that are actually interacting with the inmates. And
Oh
there was
shit.
some like odd comparisons that I there was like some odd comparisons that I noticed between that and in like school. Like not necessarily like school is prison, but like in the same way, like they're around the same people for like 8 hours a day. You actually develop like some relations with the inmates. Like you do have rapport with them. You kind of know what the dynamic is and stuff like that. And it was kind of interesting. I feel like that's the intersection between teaching and law enforcement is working in corrections.
Nice. I don't know. Corrections. The thing about corrections though is that, bro, it does ham on your mental health.
Oh, yeah. It
Like, good lord,
would.
like the amount of stories that you have to, like the amount of like horrible shit that some of those kids have been through.
Yeah,
It's like it's demoralizing.
it is. Yeah. I think if I was to ever go back into law enforcement for some reason, that I would probably do that, just because it's the closest relation to it, and I would. That is kind of the thing that I liked most about law enforcement. I never liked the like. I truly don't know if I'd ever actually been able to pull the trigger if I ever needed to. Like when I was doing we would do scenarios in my Police Explorer post, and there would be times when you would have to like fire on the target, and I would be always very very slow to do so. Like I don't think I would actually be able to do it if push came to shove.
Yeah, I have I have a friend who's going into law enforcement, and I was actually talking to her like yesterday, and she was like, and because okay, so she says she tries to distance herself from like all the true crime, like all that stuff,
Yeah,
like Criminal Minds, whatever, because she's like, dude, those are so fake.
yeah, they are.
And they're like, and and like she hates how when she's a when because people first think when they think, oh, when they see, oh yeah, so and so is our white girl going to a certain university, they're like, oh yeah, she's in criminal justice because she wants to be like true crime and
Mhm.
Criminal Minds and Forensic Files and all that stuff. And then um so she's like, yeah, no, I completely distance myself. The only stuff I even like consider watching is Forensic Files because that shit's actually real.
Yeah,
Bro,
actually,
Forensic
I've never seen
Files,
Forensics Files actually.
dude, Forensic Files is so good. It's so interesting too. It's because it's like you have like real technology that people used when like the show was created, and then you have like interesting mysteries and cases, and then like very intricate ways on like how they use the technology in order to like find the killer or the whatever.
Mhm.
It's like it's really interesting.
Huh. What differentiates it from like other shows? Like, why is it so much better than the other ones?
Well, one, because it's okay. Well, okay. So first off, it's real.
Oh, is it
Like,
actually real?
yeah, it's like real cases and like real forensics and
Oh,
stuff
okay.
like that. So it's not just like some evil like serial killer or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but then another thing that I think is like another reason is that they're super quick to get through because each one is only 30 minutes long. Each one's
Okay.
only fills like a 30-minute time slot instead of like all the other like law shows, which is like 40, which is it's like the 1 hour time slot.
Yeah.
So it's like 45 minutes long, something like that.
Hmm.
And then I feel like for me personally, like I do know, like in the back of my mind, I keep thinking like, and I know that, oh yeah, all this stuff is fake. But what really gets me is like the other stuff that happens that's like not related to the crime. So I'm gonna use there's a show called FBI. I believe it's on NBC. I think it might be on NBC. I'm not sure, but you should definitely check it out. It's an amazing show.
Mhm.
It's obviously it's about the FBI. Most Wanted is also pretty good. That's also like really intense. But International is a joke. Don't watch International. That's it's literally just like every other quirky like travel the world whatever show. Which and MacGyver does it better. So and even though I'm sad that MacGyver got canceled, it needed to get canceled. It was done. They honestly should have canceled it like after this, like in the season before, but they just because that was like a really really good ending to the series. But nope, then they had to add nanobots, and that's an entire other thing. Anyway, so basically, what's so interesting about FBI is that it's there's like all this crime and stuff going on. Like there's the crime, there's the killer, there's the theft, there's whoever else, drug lords, whoever is on the loose, you know.
Mm.
But then you also what's the most interesting is the interactions between the characters and the relationships between the characters that develop within like each episode and just like how the job impacts their families, how the job impacts their friendships,
Okay.
how certain stuff happens outside of the job that impacts their job and their performance. A perfect example is that there's one of the main characters in the story. His name's Omar, and
I had a dream
and
about my coworker named Omar last night. That's completely irrelevant, but I just remembered that now.
nice. But there's this guy named Omar, and he was like in he used to be in the military. I can't remember which branch. It was either like Army or Marine or something like that, or he might have been a Navy SEAL. I don't know. I can't remember. I don't think he was a Navy SEAL. I think I might be mixing that up with Hawaii 5-0,
Mhm.
um, but so Omar, like at the beginning of the episode opens and it's like he gets mugged. Like that, he's just jogging, he's doing his morning run, and then he gets mugged, and he's an FBI officer, and
Mhm.
he said, and like he knows, obviously he's an FBI officer, he knows what to do. He lets them take his wallet and his phone. They're holding him at gunpoint, and then they run off with their stuff.
Right.
And god damn it,
Dang it, David.
the ads again. No. No. Okay, what do you think? Should I wait until after the ad's over or no to finish the story?
Nope, it's David's fault. Continue.
David's fault, you're right.
Yep.
Okay, so so he gets mugged and then he goes on his job to his shift at FBI and everyone's like, "Yo, you okay, bro?" And he's like, "Yeah, no, I'm fine."
Mhm.
And then so they're catching this it's like a killer or something like that. I don't know. Some
Right.
murderer is on the loose. And then another department comes over to him and he says, "Hey, there are these people like mugging other people for money and they're like doing it by gunpoint. Do you know anything about that?
Mm.
Like we know that you have some we know that you have some information." And he's like, "No, no, no. I don't have anything to do. I don't know anything. Sorry, I can't give you anything." And he's
Why
like,
is he so
"Okay.
hesitant to give it up?
We'll see. I'll tell you that in a second. But
Okay.
and we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
So so they go off, they go on this job, and it's important. This is important to note in the story. So Omar is Islamic, and one of the other victims, like in like the murder case or whatever, is also Islamic. And and basically it's like the case advances and advances, and then eventually they're like the guy from the other department comes back and he's like, Omar, they just shot a guy and they killed a man with the gun. And then Omar goes like insane. Well, he doesn't. He kind of goes insane. He's like, "Oh shit, I fucked up."
Yeah.
Because basically what happened was that they brought in like a list of suspects that like match their description, and then he purposely like went over like those two people.
Mm-hmm. Why is he
And
protecting them so much?
like I'll tell you in a second like the philosophy behind it once I finish like the scenario. But basically Omar yeah, so he feels really guilty, and then he like points, he like says, okay, let me look at the list again. He says, and then he points out those two, and he says him and him, or him and her. So and then Omar, they catch the guy, and so basically what happens is that Omar is talking to the other Islamic girl, and he's like, well, you know the Quran, right?
The Quran?
Yeah, the Quran. Yeah, the Quran. He says, like, the Quran teaches us to something with truth or something like that. I can't specifically remember. Like, I watched this episode like a while ago, so
Yeah.
the details are kind of hazy. But and then she's like, she like goes back and like tries to remember through that traumatic experience. And then she eventually remembers like the person who like went after her, and then they catch the guy, and then Omar beats the living shit out of him. Dude, it is like it's kind of funny to like, it's kind of funny to when I say it like that, but honestly it's not. Like, it's a really powerful scene because it's like he's taking out all his anger and frustration on this one guy that has nothing to do with like his like case or like his traumatic experience that morning.
Right.
And like his partner is like, whoa, hold the fuck up.
Right.
It's like she brings him over and like pulls him off the guy. She's like, what the fuck is your problem? Like, what are you doing? He's like, and she's like, lay off. And then he's like, fine. And then like the episode ends. But it's just, so the reason I'm bringing up this episode is because it's the reason this episode sticks out in my mind is because I was taking a crime victimization and public health class at my university. And this was like, I think this was like fall break or something that I was watching this episode.
Okay.
And and so like, and I watched the show with my mom, so
I used to watch Criminal Minds with my mom every Wednesday.
Oh, nice. And it really got to me because it painted such like a clear and very correct picture of what secondhand victimization is like, and how like PTSD can like affect you and your job and the people around you. And it was very realistic, and that's why it stuck with me so much, is because at least with FBI, like that aspect, like that social aspect that they were exploring with Omar, because you know, Omar, he's in the military, you know, he can beat up anybody, but like, he doesn't usually beat up everybody, but so like,
but he's trained to.
He's trained. He's trained if he needed to. and to see him go through that traumatic experience, even like after he's seen like the war and stuff in Afghanistan, um, and like him still being affected by that event was so realistic, and that's why I love FBI so much, is because it very much puts that realistic aspect into their show, which like obviously like not all the crime stuff is realistic, but but the actual people and their interactions and what they go through are they feel real, they feel realistic, they feel like they could actually happen, that's something that could actually happen to a person.
It definitely is. That is really cool that it incorporates the mental aspect into that as well, and it does.
Yeah, but
I really that's interesting that it shows like that. Is that is secondhand? What is secondhand victimization? I'm not familiar with the term, but I think I know what it means. So it's something that you said.
Secondary secondary victim. So I'm sorry, I had to look up the definition because it's been a bit, but secondary victimization occurs when the victim suffers further harm, not as a direct result of the criminal act, but due to the manner of in which institutions and other individuals deal with the victim.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, sorry, I had to like refresh my memory because I knew the term, but like I had to like remember the actual definition. But basically, but the way that like he was treated during like they were interrogating him, there's like point out the people that did this to you, and like he couldn't do that because like partially because of the stress of the situation, and also because of like the stress of what happened that morning, the stress of like these other agents like questioning him, and then he has to point out specifically who made him go through this traumatic event.
Yeah.
And it was a perfect example of like how the judicial system doesn't treat their victims very well.
Yeah. Huh.
Because for those of you who don't know, our judicial system does not account for like the victim's health whatsoever. Basically, they're just like, we'll get you a lawyer to represent you in court, and the state will also represent you in court if something was terrible, which is why it's usually like, for example, the university, not university, but the state of Oklahoma versus Ted.
Versus Ted.
Yeah. And like Ted, for example, Ted sexually assaulted somebody, and now it's the state of Oklahoma putting him under that pressure, putting him under that pressure and trying him in place of the victim. And that's basically all that they do. Usually they just interrogate them and they make them testify in front of them, which is why it's like it leads to like usually some mental breakdown happening.
Yeah.
It's absolutely horrible and despicable. But yeah, but that's just how in order to fix that, we need to like restructure the kind of things that we just need to restructure the way that victims are treated.
Yeah. What would be do you think you'd know of like an alternative, but like instead of them having to testify in front of their offender? Because like I get like that's obviously bad for them, but at the same time, you kind of I feel like you almost need that eyewitness testimony there. Like, would someone be a stand-in for them, do you think? Or what do you think the alternative would be?
I don't know. I can think of a few solutions, but they all have their various issues. The main issue between all of them is that because, for example, if they were to write it down on a piece of paper, they could be reading it. They could have just written that down, and and it's not actually real because like a person who has no attachment to it is reading their account of it.
Right.
And the other hand, which is the other thing, which is video, like because technology has advanced enough where we could just like take a video of like a witness testimony and say like we submit this as evidence as her testimony, but that carries the issue of people claiming that that is also fake because she could be reading off of a teleprompter.
Mm.
So and then because and then like they have to it's not just like testifying in front of like in front of the person. You also have to think how many and Shadow also says deep fakes. That's another.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
That's ironically what we were talking about earlier. They could definitely deep fake it.
10 years ago that wouldn't be an issue. Now that is.
But now that's definitely an issue. Thanks Shadow for bringing that up. So yeah, but so basically that's really all they can do is just be in the court and say it like in front of all these people. And it's not just like saying in front of the person. Like you have to think about how many times they're saying the story.
Yeah.
Because first the police have to take into account of it. Then she has to then it's very public to the entire nation, if not the world.
Yeah.
Then your personal and traumatic experience is shared with over the internet. And then you also have to and then you also need to testify in court.
Yeah.
David says
and David's right. I was going to bring this up.
Sixth Amendment requires that the accused gets to confront the accuser. This includes cross-examination.
Yeah, I just looked it up because I wanted to verify as well. Yeah, United States v. Smith, it says that the Sixth Amendment, you have the right to cross-examine the witness. Which means that you can't do anything like a video, or in that case as well, because you need to have the witness there to be able to cross-examine. Because our system is set up in that way where where the party that's being accused of being guilty has all of the advantage put on them, which I do like that because I feel like we need that system, because if we don't have that system in place, then it's going to false accusations are going to become more rampant. It should be the burden of proof is on the state, and it should be. Yeah. So it does that's where we get these kind of issues where it seems like the offender has more rights than the victim. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of built in with almost a necessity.
This is actually interesting because I've honestly okay, this is gonna look really bad as a poli-sci student, but I straight up did not know the Sixth Amendment.
I didn't know it either.
Okay, to be fair, look. Basically, I know the first 5 because the first 5 are easy. And then I also know the Seventh Amendment, and then the Seventh Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
because and then also the 14th Amendment, because that's also really important.
Yeah, 13th as well. No slavery.
Yeah, well, 13,
14.
Well. But 15. But in terms of like prosecution and in the judicial system, like 14th, obviously in no involuntary servitude is like obviously incredibly important, but like specifically to the court system and not just like overall in general, I would say that like the 5th and now the 6th and then the 14th are probably like the 3 biggest ones.
Mm-hmm.
That have like the biggest impact in terms
and
of
7, because 7 is right by trial of jury.
Oh yeah, 7, and 7. So like those are like the ones that impact the courts the most.
Yeah.
And then obviously like you can say the most popular one is that like I plead the fifth.
Hmm.
And then sorry, this just brings me back to a clip in Inside Job where one of the characters is just like, I plead the fifth and the second. Everyone go on Netflix and watch Inside Job and make sure Netflix uncancels it because it is bro, it is so good. Yeah, David knows it. Yeah, Inside Job is so good. Highly suggest everyone who has Netflix go and watch Inside Job because it's really good.
Do you think that line would work if I got pulled over?
I plead the fifth and the second. Well, I mean, no. If a cop would pull out a gun on you, dude.
Instantly,
He literally like tase you and be like, "Sir, step out of the car and keep your hands above your head."
Yeah, easily. No, don't
No, definitely don't do that.
That's worse.
Like the worst thing you could possibly do.
Because you're getting instantly shot without remorse if you're doing that.
Yeah, I also hope that Adult Swim or HBO pick it up. David. Okay, no, to be fair. Okay. So no, okay, I'll teach you guys what to do. I've never had to do this because I live in a state where or like my home state is a state that's like that is not open carry.
Mm-hmm.
So
not Texas.
Yeah, so not Texas.
So but like, okay, so we've narrowed it down to 49 states.
If we were in, let's say we were in, concealed carry. I'm going to talk about concealed carry. So basically, my uncle and my cousin taught me how to do this because they knew that I don't have a weapon, I don't have a firearm, but they said, here, just in case you do, and one day you get licensed, I'll tell you exactly what to do. So basically, you just say, you keep your hands like above you, like over your head, and you say, I am a concealed carrier. I have a handgun on in the holster on the right side of my body. Mm-hmm. My identification and my certification is in my wallet. May I please is in my wallet, and my wallet is in my right pocket. May I please grab it? And they said, okay, go ahead with their like firearm like at you. Mm-hmm. because obviously they're going to be careful. And then you calmly and slowly you pull it out. You open your wallet, you pull out your certification, and and then the officer looks it over and he says, okay, and then he continues on with what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Okay, thanks. So yeah, so that's what you do if you're ever stuck in like that if you're ever stuck in that situation, a cop pulls you over and you're concealed carrier.
And that's assuming that the gun's on you, right? Because if it was like,
yes, if it's
in the glove compartment,
if you don't have the gun on you, then it's just like a normal pullover. Like you don't need to do anything special. I don't know specifically about like the glove compartment, but I'd have to ask my family about that again. But
from what I've experienced in scenarios with the Explorer post, it seems like if it was a situation like where the gun is in the glove compartment, the cop doesn't necessarily have to like pull his gun, and it would just be a situation where like, okay, just do not under any circumstances reach for your glove compartment and everything will be okay. And then the traffic stop can proceed as normal, is from what I've been taught, I think. So it's kind of like, as long as the gun isn't in an immediate place where you can like quickly pull it out, you should be generally fine, especially if you have the identification on you, which they would ask for.
Yeah, and by the way, if you're ever a concealed carrier, always have your certification on you.
Yes.
if you don't and you happen to have a firearm on you, you are screwed. Like you will things are gonna get rough, so just be aware of that.
If it was a situation where you also keep, in the state of Illinois, you don't need to carry a registration on you. It's only license and proof of insurance. But if it was a situation where you're,
I mean, I always pull out my register. I mean,
yeah,
I've never had to pull over, but like if I would still like I would still pull out my registration.
you could. Like if
Also,
I,
I have dinner now, so I'm gonna be eating.
that's fine. But yeah, so if it was a situation where like you keep your proof of insurance in your glove compartment as well, you would tell the officer, okay, I'm concealed carry. Here's my identification. My insurance is in my glove compartment. And then what will most likely happen is probably you get out of the car, and then the officer would come around, and the officer would take the insurance out of the glove compartment itself. Like you would give the officer permission to take it out of your glove compartment. So then in both cases, you're separated from your weapon, and the officer is able to safely take your insurance out. Is, I believe, what we would do.
Okay, that makes sense.
We haven't done traffic stops and arrows in a long time, but I believe that's what you would do in that case. That's just like from, I think, logically inferring from it.
Yeah.
What are you having for dinner?
Well, it's Friday, so I actually don't know. It's like a pasta with like shrimp.
Okay.
It's like a linguine with shrimp.
Oh, nice. I had a cheese pizza with green peppers on it because it's Friday.
Dude, I hate how I always forget that like there's no meats on Fridays. Like, and then I always have meat for like breakfast and lunch, and breakfast or lunch, and I'm like, oh.
And then you
Friday.
remember, like, crud.
Yeah, and then usually for dinner I have fish.
Yeah. For me,
which is weird because it's the one religious tradition that like I actually follow. That's not going to church on Christmas and Easter.
Mm-hmm. For me, it turns into like a slightly opposite problem where I am like paranoid every single day. Like, oh shoot, am I not supposed to eat meat today? No, it's Monday. Oh, okay, I'm fine. That's fun.
Nice. Honestly, like old religious traditions are like, especially, oh my gosh, remember what they used to do for like Fat Tuesday?
I do not.
So
I don't know
basically,
culture.
Fat Tuesday was basically like, what was it? I can't remember. It's either the Monday before Fat Tuesday, you fast and you don't have anything for the entire day.
Mm-hmm.
And then then on Fat Tuesday, like you eat all the stuff that you missed out on. Or it's that or it's on or that like the day of fasting is on Wednesday and Fat Tuesday is where you fill up before like the day of fasting begins.
Okay.
I can't quite remember what it is.
My guess, I'm assuming that's the Tuesday before Ash Wednesday then?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because it would be, because it's Monday. The day of fasting is Monday, and then Fat Tuesday, because Fat Tuesday you have the Klotchkis, and then the day after that is Ash Wednesday where you get your ashes. So that would make sense.
That could stand a reason. Wednesday is also a day of fasting though.
It is?
Yeah. You the current regulations is that you don't you can only have one regular sized meal, and then it also specifies one small meal, but also no meat on Ash Wednesday. It used to be, I think it used to be a lot like more in depth, more fasting than how it is now. Like they've eased up on the regulations after Vatican II.
Yeah, I need yeah, I knew that like there's no meat on Ash Wednesday. That I knew, but I think I also forgot about it on that day as well.
Yeah, one of my friends is turning Catholic, so I'm like constantly reminding her of like when you are or not supposed to be doing stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
I think Good Friday is also a day of fasting, if I recall correctly.
Good Friday. That's the Friday before Easter?
Yes.
I don't know. Aren't we like different sects of the of like the Catholic Church or something?
I don't think so. Are you Roman Catholic?
Yeah, I'm Roman Catholic.
Yeah, it's the largest one. Yeah, no, I'm also Roman Catholic.
Oh. Wait, then I don't know. Those are like the first time that I've heard of like all those fasting rules.
No, yeah, it's in the catechism. It's probably in the catechism. It's somewhere. I know it's 100% like that is the regulations. I don't know where it's directly stated. Were you raised Catholic?
Yeah, I was. I did religious ed, so
Hey,
then and I got confirmed.
I'm teaching religious ed now.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, got my third graders.
Grab another water bottle real quick. There we go. Anyway, kind of hard to eat this with a plastic fork.
Just use your hands.
No, I'm not eating linguine with my hands.
Come on, go caveman.
Koltuwadu. I refuse. Do it for chat?
Food for chat.
Bro, no.
Do it for Shadow. Come on.
Do it for Shadow? No, I'm not even on camera. I'm not eating linguine with my hands.
We don't have to see it. We just have to know it.
If I had a face cam, then maybe, because then at least it'd be recorded on camera, but...
Turn on your face cam.
No. And even if I did, even... Jokes on you, Shadow. I have a spoon.
Dang it.
I have a spoon. Joke's on you. Even if I can't use a fork. Oh, wait, that's an in-game action, though, and we're not playing a game.
This is real life. This is the real life game. That counts.
Oh, so are you saying I'm gonna have to... Can I at least...
Yeah, now you have to eat it with a spoon.
Whole? No.
Oh,
yeah. Okay, no, I'm not following that.
Vote is currently 6-0 for yes.
Wait, what? Wait, no.
No more utensils.
No, vote.
Well, now you can't eat with utensils. David has banned that.
No.
Wait, how are you voting? How are you doing this? Oh, because you're using.
Yeah, because I can vote again using one channel point.
No.
And I've out. And let's go! I caused an ad break. Let's go.
My only weakness.
I voted so much that it caused the ad break to happen. Let's go. You're not winning this. I can outclick you any day, Shadow Bro 101. Come on. I'm almost there. No, I'm losing traction. No.
I am currently jitter clicking.
I'm not putting in more than 100 points.
I just jitter clicked on it. So that was all me.
Utensils. Well, that's a David rule. This is a Squirtle rule. So you know what? I will acknowledge not eating with a fork, but I will still eat it with a spoon and use my fork as like a helpful tool.
Okay, so you're not eating with the fork. You're
I'm using the
eating.
fork as a tool.
Yeah.
Dude, eating linguine with a fork with a spoon is so hard, especially a tiny plastic spoon.
Oh yeah, easily. It's gonna be horrible. What does that even mean, David?
Hydrate? Reset my speed run?
All right,
What do you mean by reset my speed run? What
all right,
speed
Scroll.
run?
You have to throw away all your linguine and get a new one.
Get a new linguine? My
Yes,
parents brought me this linguine.
you have to reset the linguine now.
What do you mean by reset? Am I supposed to puke it?
Yes.
I'm gonna shove my hand down my throat?
I didn't say that. David said that.
Intermission Podcast 5000. Oh god, well now we have to do another one.
All right, we're gonna be here till 11 o'clock. The forbidden points.
Bro, no, my parents would not allow me to do this until 11.
You got somewhere to be after this?
No, yeah, well, I'm in the hotel room.
Oh, right.
Yeah, by the way, first episode of Intermission Podcast is being held in a hotel room because Squirtle doesn't want to go back to his dorm. So...
Are you like right by
Wait.
your cop? What?
Wait, he said that...
Wait, 5 minutes.
He said that the intermission... It's the 5-minute intermission podcast. So if it's like... So we basically do it for 5 minutes midstream. I didn't know that he added that.
Oh, I did not know that either.
Well, cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, lovely viewers, you can, whenever there's another stream, you can use 5,000 channel points to make both Gast and I do the Intermission Podcast.
I'm not even on the
for 5
stream, and I just apparate onto stream for
Yeah,
that.
you have to come onto stream just for the Intermission Podcast.
I'm like in another building, like doing math, and then it's like, oh crud! Opens up Chromebook really quickly. All right, I'm here.
Yeah, I don't know. Usually, I'm like busy a lot of the nights, so
I am as well. Like, I'm not necessarily doing anything like, I don't want to say special or anything, but I'm just usually just doing something at nights. And it's like I reserve like the Mondays and Thursdays for streams in general. But I do actually have a job on Tuesdays. I do like I work at like a daycare center on Tuesday nights. Because my professor, she runs a class that teaches parents how to like essentially how to play with their children in like a kind of educational way. So
that's interesting.
Yeah. So she has like 8 college students take care of their kids that they bring with for that, and the kids are aged 0 to, I think the oldest is in 2nd grade. So what is that, 7? 0 to 7. And they're mostly preschool. And I have to say, preschool age, like last semester I taught 5th grade, and then I teach my 3rd grade religious education. I'm doing 4th grade this semester. So the very younglings are kids I don't exactly know how to interact with as well. And the only frame of reference I have for kids that age are my young cousins. Except with my cousins, I always act aggressive with them, like playfully aggressive with them.
Oh yeah, well yeah, because they're your cousins. So
yeah, so like
and you can't treat other like kids like that. So
yeah, like I'm constantly like grabbing my cousins and like flipping them over my head and stuff like that, and like causing them to be amped up. No, I do not beat my students, Shadow. Thank you for asking.
Jeez.
So yes, I'm not able to do that with the daycare center kids. So I end up I need to learn how to calm down, because when they're that young, all I know is kind of how to amp them up and get them hyper. So my professor asked us at the end last time we did it. She was like, "Okay, is there anything that needs to like be worked on?" And like all of them said, like, "Yeah, it was a little bit chaotic in there." And they all looked, and my professor instantly looked at me like she knew that it was me that caused that.
Oh my god.
So Hey, at least the kids should be, yeah, like what David's saying. Like, at least the kids should be tired out by the time they get out from dealing with me.
I don't
So,
know, man. 5-year-olds have infinite energy.
they do. They really do. They never get tired.
Maybe that's where like all the tired college kid time goes. Maybe all of that time got like transported to our 5-year-old selves, and
Yes,
that's
we
why
use up
we
all
have
of our
no
energy.
energy. We run out by the time we hit college.
Hey, when I'm with the 5-year-olds, I have a lot of energy because I'm also like on the floor, crawling, running about, like messing with them. So like I take their energy and run with it.
Too bad. Jokes on you, Shadow. I already finished my pasta.
And I think what I've noticed from doing that daycare is that I always have a level of aggression is not the right word, but like I guess desire to mess with the kids in like a way that like a dad messes with their children. And when it comes to like the younger kids, that results in like like slightly more aggressive play. But when it comes to like my fifth graders, that comes out in like sarcasm and like slight snarkiness and bluntness with them. So it kind of is interesting that I have the exact same personality with all of them, except that it comes out in slightly different ways the older that they get. So like I'm with my fifth graders, I'm very I'll verbally mess with them. I will be very sarcastic with them. And that's one of the reasons why I really like fifth grade is because they have that personality where
they can
they're getting to that.
They can tell that you're joking. Like,
yeah,
like I'm gonna fail you.
yeah.
No.
I probably shouldn't say that one on stream, but
Oh.
well, no one knows who I am. Like I've joked before. For I had to take a couple of the kids out of class in order to do like these reading assessments with them for one of my classes.
Oh yeah.
And then the first time I did it, I told her like, okay, I'm stealing you for a couple of minutes. And then she jokingly said, okay, you're kidnapping me. So from then on, I always refer to it as hey, I'm kidnapping you. Let's go.
Oh my god. That's kind of bad.
I know. I was, yeah, I know. My observing teacher never had a problem with it, and the kids all found it very funny. They they made wanted posters for me the last time I said it,
Oh
and
my god.
they put it on their desks. And it was when I
Let's
walked back.
go! I don't have to eat with my hands. Let's go!
Squirtle contributed
Jokes on you.
175 channel points.
Jokes on you, chat. Jokes on you. I can...
Were you just doing that in the background the entire time?
Not the entire time. I started again when like Shadow said that it looks like that.
Oh,
Yes
it looks like a
will win.
yes.
And
Yeah.
then I was like, oh wait, can't have that happening. So, and I have infinite channel points anyway. So, not like actual infinite, but like a lot.
Mhm.
170. Yeah, 175 points. You forget how often I'm on David's stream.
How many channel points do you have?
I still have 2.8k.
I have 7.3 because I never use mine.
Oh, I used like a decent amount for the Intermission Podcast donation.
That makes sense.
Anyway, so do we want to move on to our last topic, or
Sure.
because we're almost done? I don't know.
You said that you had a couple game rants that you wanted to do.
Wait, what? Oh, yes. I mean, I don't know if you guys want to listen. Okay, so please,
Hey,
viewers.
it's our podcast.
Yeah, it's our podcast. All right, look. So I'm gonna rant about Genshin really quick.
I don't even know what Genshin is, but
You
go
don't
for
know
it.
what Genshin Impact is?
I do
Honestly,
not.
that's probably a good thing because the community is
Genshin
so
Impact.
the community is so garbage. Shut up, Shadow. You literally play Genshin. I don't want to hear that from you.
So it's anime.
Or maybe that was Julian. That might have been Julian. No, I'm not. I'm just a person who plays the game. I'm not a community member. True, I do grind it every day, but that's besides the point. Um, I don't know. Do I have any Genshin rants today? Bro, I've been trying to grind for my Kuki Shinobu, and I swear to God, my artifact luck has been so bad, man. You have no idea. Like,
I literally don't.
all I want is all I want is an either I need like 2 EM pieces, and then I'm literally good. I can literally build her. I'm finished building her. That's
Wait,
it.
you're
I'm
building a
done.
person?
And I need no. She's a character. Yeah, I'm building a character.
So
And
Frankenstein-esque.
the need to
Yeah, you shouldn't
stop
build
building
women.
women. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
stop building up women. Tear them down.
Oh my god. Gas, you're gonna get us canceled on episode 1. I swear.
And there's
if
where
I
the
see the
sketchy stuff
Twitter
comes in.
ninjas come after us.
Hey, I didn't say it. Shadow said it, and I extrapolated what he meant. So he really said it.
Oh my god. Episode 1. That's right, David. There's gonna be more episodes of this. Come on, David. You know that this episode has been a success so far.
It has.
Episode 2 when? I don't
When?
know. We'll figure that out eventually.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, so David's kind of losing his mind at the fact that there's going to be multiple
I know. I was gonna say. I'm
episodes.
assuming there's gonna be more. I was just coming into
I
assuming
I
there'd be more.
assume that there would be more.
Yeah.
Anyway, but no, dude, I need these 2 like EM pieces for my Hyper Bloom set. I have my flower, I have my feather, and now like today, like at the beginning of the at the beginning of the podcast, I was literally grinding Genshin because I still had some stuff I needed to get done, and I didn't want to play at like 9 p.m. at night because I want to do other stuff.
Hey, I'll be doing that after with Minecraft.
Oh my god, yeah.
I've been playing hardcore.
But and I finally got my onset EM sands. So now I need one more onset EM, either goblet or circlet, and then I'm good. I can build Kuki, and I'll be done, and I can run Hyperbloom comps. So thank God of that. So that is my Genshin rant. That is my Genshin rant for the podcast today.
I understood like 50% of those words.
Oh, is my mic quality bad all of a
No.
sudden?
I heard everything you said.
But you didn't understand it.
I didn't understand it.
Well,
What is the point of this
which is
game?
why you should play Genshin Impact. It's a gacha game.
What does that mean?
So you know how like you roll. It's kind of like gambling a bit. So it's
I like gambling.
You roll for like specific characters or weapons, and then and those characters have like specific abilities.
Oh yeah.
And then you can pay money in order to in order to like get more summons, and then like so you can get more stuff. I'm a free to play, so I haven't spent a single penny on Genshin because I'm a broke college student. How do you expect me to pay for a gacha game?
Right. You can't pay for nothing.
Especially because like I'm pretty sure Genshin's rates are like absolutely abhorrent for the Genshin rates are absolutely abhorrent for like gacha rates. It's ridiculous. You need to roll like 300 times to at maximum in order to get like a guaranteed weapon. And then you also need to get like 160 wishes for like a guaranteed 5-star character. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so that's that's my game rant for today. Okay, so then anime. All right, so let's see which anime review should I do today?
I have watched 2 animes.
Ooh,
and not even entirely.
Which ones?
I've watched the first season and like a couple episodes of the second season of Death Note.
Oh, okay.
And then I saw like a couple episodes of Erased.
Oh, I need to watch Erased, but I haven't been in the mood for depression.
Yeah, that show is like I don't even I didn't watch the entirety of it yet. That was just like that made me emotional a couple of times.
All right, so episode 1 of the podcast, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that and recommend everyone who's listening to this podcast.
Mhm.
There's this show that's airing right now. Season 2 is airing right now. It's called Vinland Saga, and it
Hang
is.
on, Squirtle, give me a second.
All
Sorry.
right. Don't. Okay, no, Shadow. No, you can't say with a straight face that Vinland Saga is trash. No, you can't even. No, it's not, and you know it's not. It's not. It's not trash. Shadow, for the longest time, your profile picture was a picture of Kirito. So shut up. No, okay. Why is it bad, Shadow? Tell me why it's bad. See, look, this is the kind of person that is telling me that Vinland Saga is trash. He thinks that SAO is the best anime ever.
It
Okay?
is.
So no, you're wrong. Don't
know
listen to
what it
him,
is.
Gas. Don't listen to him.
I don't know. I trust Shadow with
Anyway,
my life.
but Vinland Saga. Okay, so Vinland Saga, it's about Vikings,
Okay.
and basically what happens is that it here I can't really see. The thing is that I can't get into the plot unless like the plot is so boring. What do you mean? It's a story about what it means to be a warrior and how how trauma from doing horrible acts as like a younger person can affect you as an older person. And season 2 is like so season 1 is like action packed, is like fast paced. Season 2 is slower, and it's basically like and it's a lot more about the philosophy rather than like the fights and stuff, which is what makes it so good.
I was
Because
gonna say I feel like I would like that season better than.
yeah, because like Vinland Saga, you come for the action, you stay for the philosophy, and the existentialism and stuff like that. So it's basically like Vikings and existentialism. And I have not
Nice.
been watching The Last of Us and HBO because I don't have HBO.
That would do it.
So highly suggest you watch Vinland Saga. Actually, I was gonna suggest my dad and I was gonna suggest that show to my dad because he he's tried anime and he doesn't and he just couldn't get into it, or he falls asleep.
That's fair.
He's
I'm
actually
generally
in
in
the
the
other
same
room
boat.
right now, so he can probably hear me, but um but no, I feel like because like he likes the show he liked the show Vikings, so I'm like, all right, well maybe if he likes Vikings, he'll like this. And it's like it doesn't have any like the weird anime tropey stuff, like you know all like the anime tropes, like the anime weird waifu stuff. It doesn't
Yeah,
have any of that.
that's good. Because that is
So
my whenever I hear anime, that is the first thing I think of.
yeah, and it's Vinland Saga. Like, there's none of that in Vinland Saga.
That's
There's
good.
none of it. It is a mature show. It's like It's definitely it's like TV MA. It's like there's like some nudity, but whenever there's nudity, there's like a point to it. It's not just like random, you
Mhm.
know. So that's
And the
another.
point isn't just to have it, right?
Yeah, the point isn't just to have it. Trust me, I've seen a lot of shows where they add like fan service and stuff
Oh yeah, easily.
because well, every show needs to have that, and it's like
And it completely
and it's
ruins
like
it when it's
and
just
it's
thrown
like
in.
a lot of it is just like, why is it here? Or it's like, oh well, wait, here we go.
Yeah.
That it's got to happen at some point. Um, I would say that I would say like a perfect example of fan service being used like to its fullest potential is a show called Food Wars.
Food Wars.
And Food Wars is a show and it is a experience. But it's basically like the
Shogun
way they
Kenti
use
no Soma.
they use the fan service. Yeah, there's a lot of nudity, but well, kinda. It's like censored, kinda, but
Kinda.
kinda.
How's it kind of censored?
Okay, so basically, the Food Wars is like Food Wars is about this like guy who goes to this like cooking school and tries to become like the best chef in the world or whatever.
Mm.
And but every single time that one of the characters tries like a food item or something, they like something insane happens to them. It's like usually they like get nude or something.
Oh, so Shadow wasn't kidding when he said that.
No. Their clothes literally rip off. It's an entire thing.
That's
But,
awkward.
or sometimes it's like they're on like a meat roller coaster, or sometimes it's like really quiet and peaceful. It's like you just don't know what's going to happen like whenever they take a bite of delicious food, and it's a wild ride.
Mhm.
And but the thing is that think about how boring a show would be if they were just like, oh yeah, here's oh yeah, this food is so delicious and this is what it tastes like. No, the reason it's got to go over the top is because it describes it so much better in like a style like an anime.
Mhm.
That's like the reason anime is so good and like why animation is such a good medium is because you can portray things that you can't do in like live action. Yeah, Shadow. There's a meat roller coaster. You have to get far enough into the show, but there is one. It's either like end of season 1 or like around season or it's around like the end of season 1 or mid season 2. Yeah, there's a meat roller coaster where like all the characters just like go around and they're like riding on this like roller coaster that's just like meat, and they go on meat. They go into meat land. It's really funny.
That kind of sounds like fun.
Yeah, Food Wars is really
If you
fun.
had the
Not for the
opportunity to do
beginning
that.
anime fan though. Not for the beginning anime fan.
Okay, so that's not something I would watch then.
Yeah, I would say like finish Death Note. Death Note is amazing.
Yeah. I want to finish both the animes that I've started to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, I also have watched
I know we
Airbender.
raced it. I don't consider that an anime, unlike popular beliefs, but that sounds like llamas with hats. Well, no, the thing about llamas with hats is that there's not really like any. Well, I mean, there's some insane things that go on in llamas with hats, but
well, yeah, the entire world gets destroyed.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. The meat roller coaster.
Wait, there's a meat roller coaster and llamas with hats?
No, but there's a meat grinder. Like that he throws like orphans in or whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
As you do.
I forgot about that. So, oh yes, how could we forget about the meat dragon? It's been a while since
I know
watched
it has. I haven't seen that in so long.
Yeah, but anyway, going back to Vinland Saga, highly suggest you watch Vinland Saga. All I can say without getting into spoilers is that it's about Vikings and it's about existentialism. And I will say two other things. The first one is don't attempt to drop it until you watch episode 4 because episode 4 is when the plot really takes off.
So I just skipped episode 4.
No. You need to watch all the stuff before episode 4 because there's
but
a lot of
if I don't like what's in
details.
episode 1 to 3, then just get right into the action.
No. Trust me, you need to watch all. Just trust me. You don't want to drop it until you watch episode 4. It's on Netflix. Netflix. It's not a Netflix original because like I watched it on Crunchyroll, but I think it's actually on Amazon Prime as well, or at least it used to be. So, there's another poll. Should there be more Intermission Podcast? Yes. All right. Well, I guess there's more Intermission Podcast.
With one vote.
With one vote.
Democracy.
Yeah, but and then also another cool thing they do in Vinland Saga is that they tie in like real stuff that happened. So it's like so there's like the main story, but in the background there's like real history being involved. So there's like the Danish invasion of England that happened in like the late 900s or the early thousands.
Mm-hmm.
Um and there's also like Canute, like King Canute was this like horrible leader, but then like he appears in the show as like a really scared child, and you see how like the stuff that he goes through and how that changes him as a person and to
Mm-hmm.
become like the ruthless leader that everyone knows him as.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, that's Vinland Saga. Highly recommend. Watch on Crunchyroll or Netflix or Amazon Prime. Oh, new poll. All right,
I don't know.
Sheev Palpatine, baby, let's
Heck
go.
yeah. All right, whoever is doing
So
Sheev
Dave,
Palpatine in
so
the next one
all right,
has
so
to be doing the accent the entire time.
well, I don't know. Is it gonna be David?
Probably.
All right. Well, I guess David's gonna be our guest
But
he's gonna be the guest for the next
he
episode.
has to pretend to be Palpatine the entire time.
True. That's gonna be hilarious. For if David were to do that for 2 hours, that'd
I
be
know.
awesome.
That'd
Do
be
you know what? Do you know what we
its
should do?
finest.
Here, let's do something fun. Let's do something at the end of every episode. Okay, so chat interaction time, boys. So, okay, so let's do this. Chat can ask us any one question that we have to answer, but um there's exceptions. You can't ask us anything that's against TOS, and you can't ask us anything that'll dox us. That'll dox ourselves.
Yes, we
Other
cannot
than
be
that,
doxing
anything else. You can ask one question to Gast and one question to me. How does that sound? And then we can do that at like the end of every episode.
I'm good with that.
All right, let's do it. Okay, chat, ask us a
All right,
question.
Shadow and David.
Shadow and David, and maybe I think some other guy as well.
That counts as doxing. That also counts as doxing.
-5.
Minus 5.
That's literally doxing. That's against the rules.
Yeah. What is your social security number and Caesar cipher of 5?
-5. What a... Yeah, so it's my social security code is 42069 6969, you know.
1969.
1969.
My birthday.
4269. Oh.
And why is it?
Why isn't I don't know Gonk Droid. I feel like that's a gas question.
So who is my
the raid with your 3,000 points? What? Guide the raid? What the heck?
What's guide the raid? Oh yeah, what is that?
Suggest who we raid at the end of the stream.
Ah, okay.
What? I don't know. We're not done with the stream yet though, so.
So, I don't know who is my actual favorite Star Wars character. I don't even know. Who's the person I identify most with? I feel like
Jar Jar Binks.
No. I don't well, in some respects I kind of identify our Jar Jar, but not enough to where I wanted to actually be him.
Misa. Oh,
ad break. 1 minute before.
Only two ads though, so
I only see one actually.
See, now this we should. Oh, I see 2 ads.
It's probably they probably equal the same amount of time.
Yeah.
I'd probably say Obi-Wan actually. If I'm being honest, he's the one I identify most with.
Well, let's wait until after the ad break, because Chad is asking it. I think we should probably wait until the ad break is over.
Okay, it's over for me at least.
Oh, it's not over. I still have like another 23 seconds.
Oh, yo, dang.
Yeah, I got hit with like 2 30-second ads.
Huh.
All right, and we're back.
Awesome, we are back.
Okay, so tell him your answer.
I'd honestly probably say my favorite answer is Obi-Wan. He's probably the one I identify most with because I will make, I guess, like technically it'd be Star Wars fan fiction, but I've always just like envisioned myself within the Star Wars universe and created like large stories kind of behind everything. And I guess my character is most reminiscent of Obi-Wan, I guess. So that's probably why I'd pick him. Even though that has like nothing to do with like what he does in the actual show. It's just because I identify most with him. And I guess who's your favorite character?
I mean, I thought that was a you question. Was that to the both of us? Was that like a question for both of us?
It didn't specify a name, so
It didn't specify a name.
yeah, it just
Well,
said please explain who you're.
does someone want to ask me a different question, or I can answer the Star Wars one as my question?
Yeah, Shadow, do you have a question for us?
Like an actual question, and not like where you live or what's your social security number -5.
Hey is not a question.
Hey. Well, I mean, if you don't have a question, I guess I'll answer my favorite Star Wars character. Let's see, my favorite Star Wars character.
Oh, he said I do.
I do. Okay.
Wait.
All right, he's waiting. If this isn't a question, if this isn't a question we can answer, then or that I can, if this isn't a question I can answer, then I'm just gonna answer the Star Wars one.
Yeah.
So, what's my favorite anime? Um. Okay, so my favorite anime is Attack on Titan. Well, actually, it's more like my favorite manga is Attack on Titan because I've been reading the manga since like 5th grade.
Okay.
I started when I found the first 2 volumes in our basement and was like, what the heck is this? And then I like started reading it and I'm like, oh man, this is pretty gruesome. And I thought I was like, hee hee, I'm doing something I'm not supposed to do. I'm a 5th grader. Hee hee hee. Ad?
Shadow got one.
Oh, he can't
Rip.
hear it. Oh. Oh, well, here. Okay. I guess I'll wait.
What kind of 5th grader were you?
Um,
Like, what was your personality like back then?
uh, um, let's see. Okay. Well, I'll answer that question in a second, but so favorite manga is Attack on Titan, and I've been reading it since 5th grade. Favorite anime? Oh, there's a few that come to mind. Black Clover, definitely one of them. Oh, now? Okay, now. Well, Black Clover is my favorite anime, or one of my favorite anime. Um, Attack on Titan's my favorite manga. I grew up reading it, and why? Because the story is so good, and like the animation is sometimes iffy for Black Clover, but that's just Piro doing Piro. I don't know what other shows are really like up there for me in terms of like shows that have stuck with me over the years. Um, uh, um, yeah, I know. I really like Parasite. Death Note is up there. Um, I don't really know. Oh, Eden Zero, the Eden Zero manga. Uh, anime, JC Staff did a decent job on it, but they definitely did not bring the material to its full potential. And but Eden Zero, And the Belial Gore arc is coming spring 2023, and I am so hyped. I am not ready for complete and utter depression and people obliterating like my entire brain because of how insane Belial Gore is. Like I am a true believer that if JC Staff like pulls it off like really really well, like it could break the anime industry. Like it could literally that'll make Eden Zero like become a staple forever in the anime industry if JC Staff does this right, because Belial Gore is absolutely insane. Just leave now? Why? I don't want to. But Eden Zero is also up there for manga. Anime, I guess also Vinland Saga. Vinland Saga is really good.
But if you had to pick one,
yeah, I'm gonna finish up soon. Probably Black Clover.
Oh, okay.
So, anyway, so that's it for. I guess that's it because this is like past 9 o'clock. So
Yeah, and David, you already asked your question, so you can't ask another one.
Yeah, David, you can't ask another question. So
I'm like playfully morally against personality tests. So that's why he said probably, because I refuse to take it.
It's Shadow's favorite stream. Oh, why thank you. That means we should do more of these.
Indeed.
Alrighty, so thank you very much to everyone who's watching. I assume David's going to upload this to his YouTube because he said if it's good, and I'm pretty sure this is good. So
yeah, we didn't say anything too controversial.
Yeah, not really. Yeah, we didn't really say anything controversial. But honestly, podcasts are all about just saying like the most unhinged stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, but at least for episode 1, we didn't say anything that was cancel worthy.
All right. Our goal for episode 2: become canceled.
I don't know if that's a good goal. I don't think it's good to become canceled. All right. Well, I guess we will see everybody later. Comment below if you enjoyed. Send us a like. Join David's Discord if you want to hang out with us. We sometimes chat there, and it's just there. So
yeah, you'll find me every Monday and Thursday, and I'm never anytime else.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.